Carney's ethics question on CTV leaves him flustered and looking guilty at press conference. Mark Carney, the newly appointed leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister of Canada, is grappling with significant challenges as he faces growing public skepticism and media scrutiny in the lead-up to the federal election. Issues of transparency, accountability, and ethics, long-standing vulnerabilities for the Liberal Party, are once again overshadowing its leadership. At a recent press conference, Carney visibly faltered when a journalist pressed him about his party's commitment to ethical governance. His vague response, that ethics were in his head but not clearly articulated in his platform, failed to reassure Canadians seeking clarity in leadership. Instead of projecting confidence, Carney's hesitance reinforced doubts about his sincerity and readiness to lead, raising serious concerns among voters and journalists alike. Major media outlets, including CTV, quickly seized on this moment. In today's political climate, authenticity and credibility are paramount, and Carney's evasiveness has deepened public skepticism. His stumble has fueled the perception that he embodies the old political establishment, a system many Canadians are eager to move beyond. Trust is essential for successful leadership. Without it, no campaign promise or political branding can resonate. Carney's early missteps, amplified by relentless media coverage, suggest he may already be losing the confidence of an increasingly impatient electorate that demands clear answers and authentic leadership. Compounding these challenges are Carney's past professional associations. His ties to Brookfield Corporation, an investment firm criticized for environmental violations and labor issues, undermine his claims to champion ethical governance. In an era when Canadians prioritize sustainability and corporate responsibility, Carney's background represents a vulnerability that his opponents are likely to exploit. Critics argue that Carney's experience as a former global banker reinforces the image of an elite insider disconnected from everyday Canadians. Rather than offering a fresh start from entrenched politics, his candidacy increasingly resembles the establishment politics that many seek to escape. In stark contrast, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has cultivated an image centered on integrity, transparency, and grassroots accessibility. His campaign emphasizes accountability and ethical leadership, qualities that resonate deeply with voters disillusioned by years of Liberal scandals and broken promises. Poilievre's rallies showcase his ability to connect personally with Canadians. At a recent event in Saskatchewan, he engaged warmly with supporters, joking and taking photos, presenting a stark contrast to Carney's more corporate demeanor. This authenticity has become one of Poilievre's greatest political assets, distinguishing him from an increasingly distrusted political class. As the election nears, it is evident that Canadians are seeking leaders who embody honesty, integrity, and ethical conduct. Carney's failure to convincingly demonstrate these qualities opens the door for Poilievre to consolidate support among voters frustrated with the status quo. The political landscape is shaped by a highly engaged and skeptical electorate. Voters expect clear, credible answers, particularly on ethics and governance. Carney's inability to provide satisfactory responses reflects a dangerous disconnect from the public's expectations. These challenges within Carney's campaign mirror deeper issues within the Liberal Party itself. Years of scandals and perceived arrogance have tarnished the party's brand. Carney's rise was intended to signal renewal, but early signs suggest old habits are difficult to shake. The stakes in this election are extraordinarily high. With climate change, economic recovery, housing affordability, immigration, and healthcare dominating the agenda, Canadians urgently seek leaders who not only understand these challenges, but also possess the moral authority to address them. In this context, ethical credibility is essential for serious leadership. Carney's perceived ethical shortcomings threaten to overshadow any substantive policy proposals he may attempt to advance. If voters do not fundamentally trust a leader's character, no amount of policy sophistication will persuade them. Growing perceptions that Carney represents corporate interests rather than grassroots Canadian values could be disastrous for his campaign. Meanwhile, Poilievre continues to strengthen his brand as a voice for a new political era, rooted in accountability and genuine connection to Canadians. His consistent messaging and grassroots style are paying dividends, reinforcing the narrative that he is a leader who shares the concerns of ordinary citizens. The political environment is evolving rapidly, often to Carney's detriment. Trust in traditional political institutions has eroded, and voters recognize that character and ethical conduct matter as much, if not more, than party affiliation. In this climate, even minor leadership missteps become symbolic of broader character flaws. The contrast between Carney and Poilievre extends beyond policy. It is a direct contest of character and trustworthiness. Canadians are signaling a desire for leaders who embody the principles they espouse, governing not from entitlement, but from genuine service to the nation. For Carney, rebuilding trust will be a long and arduous journey. Addressing the damage from a shaky start, combined with a questionable professional background and weak ethical messaging, will require a fundamental recalibration of his approach. The political cost of appearing disingenuous has never been higher. As Poilievre's momentum builds, he offers a compelling alternative to an electorate hungry for genuine change. His message of ethical leadership and personal connection is proving powerful, in stark contrast to Carney's scripted appearances. The upcoming election will ultimately be a referendum not just on policies, but on authenticity and trust. Canadians are demanding leadership that reflects the highest standards of integrity and moral courage. In this environment, Carney's evasions and past associations may prove insurmountable obstacles. Unless Carney can dramatically reset his campaign, he risks becoming a symbol of the establishment fatigue driving Canadians toward leaders like Poilievre. The demand for honest, ethical leadership has never been louder, and only those embodying these values will lead Canada into its next chapter.